Welcome to Dan ARG YouTube. PDP don't send serious warning to APC and Philip Shaibu. Make them stop to the cause trouble for Edo State. Make I leave you now, make you hear from PDP chairman. Enjoy the video.
Faster than the truth but runs the half of the required distance, and that's why our very capable leaders and executive members of the People's Democratic Party with very capable DG of the campaign organization have come here today. So let me do a quick introduction. Sitting very close to me is the Oduma himself, as he is rightly called, is the Director General of the Aswe Godalo Campaign Management Council, no other person than Honorable Matthew Idrikere. You're very welcome, sir. Yes, very next to him is a very capable Deputy Chairman. And the other person, the other himself, Harrison Omakon. You're very welcome, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Yes. On the left of our chairman is the State Secretary, no other person than the Duke himself, Henry Duke Tenede. You're very welcome. And the only person in dual capacity, both as the Financial Secretary and perhaps the only acting woman leader in all of the 36 states of the Federation, is no other person than Fide Igenebali.
PDP!
Yes, we have a rating of support people at the back, including our DDG for volunteer groups. At this function, it is my privilege to introduce very straightforward, capable, intelligent, and cerebral State Party Chairman to set the record straight, because it was Edmond Burke that says all that evil is to triumph is for good men to be quiet in the periods of violence and moral decadence. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our dear Chairman, Dr. Tony Azebeli. Thank you very much, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we invited you here to the party secretariat of the People's Democratic Party to share our thoughts with you on the unfortunate and avoidable incident, ugly incident that happened yesterday at the Benin airport. May I crave your indulgence to stand up for immediate silence for the fallen hero, Inspector Ako. Please. May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Amen. This is a press release issued by me, signed by me. Edo PDP issues stern warning to APC to desist from violence and thuggery. Commiserates with the family of dead police officer, Inspector Ako Unu. The Edo State chapter of the People's Democratic Party expresses deep shock over the wanton destruction of property and the death of a police officer as a result of the violence orchestrated by thugs of the APC under the guise of enforcing the Abuja Federal High Court judgment that reinstated the impeached Deputy Governor of Edo State, Comrade Philip Shaibu. The party is worried about the desperation of the APC and its candidate, Senator Monday Okpebholo, to cause confusion and chaos in Edo State, since they are obviously not ready for the forthcoming governorship election in the state. The incident that happened yesterday at the Benin airport was unfortunate, and it is unacceptable. It shows how desperate the APC handlers have become in their bid to foist their candidate on the Edo people. It is quite disheartening that an innocent police officer lost his life due to the violence unleashed on innocent citizens by the APC led by its governorship candidate, Senator Monday Okpebholo. The PDP expresses deep sorrow over the death of this gallant officer. We commiserate with the family of the deceased and pray that our good Lord grants him eternal rest and the family the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. It is common knowledge, commonsensical, that when a court of first instance gives a judgment, once there is a notice of appeal and a stay of execution filed at the appeal court, all parties are expected to maintain the status quo. Because the members of the APC lack common sense, they seem to misunderstand what it means to have a judgment favorable to you at a court of first instance. In any case, it is judicial officers that enforce court judgments. It is not individuals that enforce court judgments. So in this case, why would impeached Philip Shaibu take laws into his hands and want to usurp the powers of judicial officers and wants to come to Edo State to reinstate himself as the deputy governor of the state? To this end, we advise the impeached deputy governor of the state to allow the law take its full course and stop instigating violence in Edo State. It should await the judgments of the appeal and ultimately the Supreme Court. The APC is hereby advised, and very strongly at that, to rein in their members, as no responsible government will fold its hands and watch hoodlums harass, maim, and kill its citizens. You are invited to note that the Commissioner of Police was at the airport. It's reported that a copy of this notice of appeal and stay of execution of the High Court judgment was shown to Comrade Philip Shaibu. We have it on good record, and we believe so, that Philip Shaibu was advised to stop this adventure of getting into town to attempt to reinstate himself. Sadly, the pleas and the orders of the Commissioner of Police were disregarded by Comrade Philip Shaibu. We also want you to know that we also gave the Commissioner of Police intel that amongst or inside the cars parked at the airport by hoodlums and thugs of the APC were ammunition and dangerous weapons. We had expected the Commissioner of Police to act on that intelligence that we gave him. In all, we draw the attention of Edoites and indeed Nigerians, and perhaps the international community, to say that all human beings, all organizations protect their self-interest. No reasonable body will work against its self-interest. The poser is, in whose interest is it for mayhem and chaos to reign in Edo State? Gentlemen of the press, you are invited to note that it is not in the interest of the PDP to have mayhem and chaos in the state. Because we are cruising to victory on the 21st of September elections. Amen. So we'll be the last set of people to want mayhem and chaos in the state. So in whose interest is chaos and mayhem? So that would be a precursor for the so-called or the phantom federal might to be brought to bear in Edo State. Clearly, it is in the interest of the blood-sucking APC party for mayhem and chaos to reign in Edo State. And we state very categorically that the PDP, the government of Edo State, will not fold its hands and allow members of the APC to destroy the peace and tranquility that has reigned in this state. It is on this note that we call on the security agencies to thoroughly, in-depth analysis of the incident that happened yesterday at the Benin airport. We urge the police, the security agencies, to carry out an autopsy on the body of the fallen hero, Inspector Onu, and make his findings public so that those people will know the truth of what happened. Once again, thank you for coming, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and may God bless Edo State. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm sure that there may be one or two questions from our brothers from the fourth realm of the estate. Except we're saying that what the chairman has done is people talk to people and people understand themselves. Are there any questions? Would like to take one or two questions, or perhaps if the Director General has a statement in this regard, maybe it will not also be out of place to take the statement from the Director General of the Answer Development Campaign Accreditation. Honorable Matthew Drake, thank you, sir.
My name is Shuji. I write for the Nigerian Tribune. Mr. Chairman, I want to ask this question because you alluded to the fact that PDP the House of Assembly filed appeal, notice of appeal, and notice of stay of execution of the judgment reinstating Honorable Shaibu as Deputy Governor of the state. Now, the question I want to ask is this: is PDP or the House of Assembly not aware, the legal department not aware of the superior judgment of the Supreme Court concerning the issue of stay of execution and appeal, that merely filing those what do you call it, processes in court would not translate to the order being granted? That's number one. Immediately that judgment was delivered in Abuja, The first response we got that was circulated to the press was from the state government, affirming that the person appointed to replace Philip Shaibu when he was in P remained the deputy governor. I'm asking, don't you also think that that kind of statement was also capable of aggravating the already tense situation in the state?
Thank you very much, Ayodele. I like it when people ask very intelligent questions that requires you to think. I thank you. This is also an opportunity to explain what we mean, what we've said, so that people will get the thinking, the logic behind what we are doing. I am not a lawyer. I am not aware of that Supreme Court judgment you referred to. However, I wish to draw your attention to the fact that we've had deputy governors in this country impeached before. This is not the first time. The issue will normally get to the Supreme Court. I'm sure you're talking maybe the Supreme Court judgment that came recently. But those former deputy governors that were impeached, none of them, after the judgment of the first instance, took laws into his hands to come and reinstate himself. That is number one. Number two, individuals do not execute court judgments. They are bailiffs of the court that are empowered to enforce judgments of the court. It smacks of lack of understanding of the workings of the laws of this land, which is characteristic of the APC, because they lack common sense. They can't think. And we Edo people will not allow them to hoodwink us. Number two, what the state government issued immediately after the court judgment is what any responsible government will do, just to douse the tension, as if they knew that Philip Shaibu will attempt to take laws into his hands. Even after the issuance of that statement, what did he do? He still came to Benin. He still called talks into the airport, trying to enforce the High Court judgment, the Federal High Court judgment. Who does that? Which government will allow that to happen? So, you know, we think that is why you have an appeal court. That's why you have the Supreme Court. And nothing in our laws, and I stand to be corrected, as I said, I'm not a lawyer, that says once the court of first instance gives judgment, the individual can just go in and take over whatever the courts have said it should be given. I imagine that there are processes, and once there's a stay of execution filed, common sense will tell you to let status quo has to remain for peace to reign. Thank you.
Are there any other questions, so we can just take the Director General for his own additional statements for this press conference. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, sir, might we be from the perspective of the state campaigns? We all know that the APC as a political party have not been campaigning, and we also know that all they are used to is trying to get unconventional tactics to get to government house. and these are part of their strategies. It is common knowledge. Suyi, I heard you when we were talking. The court of first instance in a matter that there is the possibility of getting to the apex court in the country, usually after giving any judgment, and the person whose judgment is not to his favor, indicates an interest to take the case to the appellate level. The common thing is the status quo as it is maintained. In this country since 1999, about 17 or 18 deputy governors have been impeached. When Mr. President, His Excellency Bola Tinubu was governor of Lagos State, Bukna Akerele was Akerele Bukna, I don't know which country, was impeached. Femi Pedro was impeached. Recently in Kogi State, the deputy governor to Yahaya Bello was impeached. Why I'm not against Philip Shaibu going to the court to challenge the duties of the House of Assembly, and I'm not going to dwell on that. It is very, very, very wrong for Philip to resort to self-help. He wanted to resort to self-help in the first instance. Why did he approach the courts at all? There are processes to executing court judgments. That's why you have the beliefs in court, that's why you have the law enforcement agents. So what he did is part of their grand plan to see if they could attract Mr. President to invoke state of emergency on Edo State and possibly bring some APC people to come to Edo State as administrators, which is completely against the principles and tenets of democratic rule. That is purely their plan. And the next thing is for them to blackmail the Commissioner of Police. I watched Andrew Walter talking yesterday on Democracy Today in the ERG, saying that the Commissioner of Police should be removed. It was at the airport when it happened. The question that I want every Nigerian to ask, when they were coming, as at the time they said the policeman, may so rest in peace, was shot, there were at least 20 mobile policemen in their convoy. And they saw from where they were shot. No, this is not a case of a sniper shooting someone. Why did they not retaliate? Somebody carries a gun and kills your colleague in your presence. And I was looking at the body of that person they paraded around town. His hands were put in his pocket, and I did not see blood. I don't know when any of you saw blood. I didn't see.
Shock.
And then
Shock. Yes, shock.
you saw them parading with the body, and they were now people that are mourning, that are aggrieved. The kind of violence you will see that were up will be an uncontrolled violence. But this was controlled violence to the extent that even when they got to the bar house, you could hear Tony Kabaka telling them, "Not be there, we say you go." What's the boy? It was calling one kind of that Koboko or Koroko something, and say, "That's what you always they do." Those kind of things. The days of heroism is gone. And those states have moved beyond that point. We will not elect Agberos back in government at all. And those state is on the path to becoming the #1 state in this country in terms of infrastructure, building, educational system build-up, and institutional building. With the civil service reform, I cannot remember the last time we heard that a pensioner died queuing for his pension. I want to urge our people not to be intimidated Your votes will count. All they are trying to do now is to look at different ways to disenfranchise you. What is their business with people wearing face caps yesterday and we're fighting them? If we choose to retaliate, there will be commotion in this state. But we urge everybody to stay calm, continue to campaign. Who you are voting for remains in your conscience and your heart, and you tell your friends on that day, go and cast your votes for the candidate of the PDP, because it is the only one right now in the race that can take Edo State, like I always say, to the next level of progress. Refuse to be intimidated.
Now we don't hear the warning where PDP send give Philip Shaibu and APC. Let us know what you think for comment section. If you never subscribe to Dan ARG YouTube, try make you subscribe, so that make you for the hear all the things wey dey happen for Nigeria. Make I leave you with this video, make you help us share am. Thank you for watching Dan ARG YouTube.